Who's that over there? Thought it was Jamie. No way.
We all turn around.
Could have been
unison.
just some random person. Anyway, so welcome to episode. How many episodes are we in?
This is the fifth.
The
third
fifth.
episode. Unless you want to make it a season 2.
All right.
Or is this the season finale?
Season finale.
There we
season
go.
finale
So, yeah.
of the pilot podcast.
Maybe you need to rename it. Maybe this is the pilot season. And then, there you go. What's like the thing? It's like, do you know when an artist releases their second album, it's like the sophomore album?
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know if sophomore podcast has a good ring to
It's
it.
kind of sound like something else.
It would be a
Yeah.
bit confusing between the pilot and then sophomore. People would be like, is this still Strat TV? What's going on?
Yeah, that's true. Maybe not.
We need a wee bit of
Could you call it
continuity,
this
you know?
Draft TV podcast? I mean, is that a rule against?
Maybe.
No, that would be very in line, and it would actually be original because there is another pilot podcast that I discovered on
is there?
Spotify. So
Right.
Is that about actual planes?
no, it's about TV shows.
Oh, fair enough then.
Pilot
Yeah.
episodes.
Anyway, so I am Jonathan. You know, I've been in other podcasts. I'm semi-hosting the show today for the first time. And for once, Aidan is in the guest seat.
Yeah, I've been relegated to the guest seat. I've been sacked for my comments against Strath Union, so I'm not allowed in the building. So no one tell them that I'm here. But yeah, I'm here to be the guest. After when was the last one? Like, we must have recorded it like
Few months.
It was
3 months
after
ago.
the 48-hour.
Yeah, it was
Aye.
a long time. So, to that person that listened to the last podcast and were like, "This is the last one ever," and you believed it, I don't blame you because
We're
it was that
back.
long. We're back though. We're back.
I know, that's what we said at the end of it, half jokingly. Aye, we're
Yeah.
not going to do one again. And then we actually stopped doing it with them. Anyway, and then also, we have Chris.
Yes, hello. I'm Chris. I am supporting Strat TV and anything really.
Yep, with his big guns. I'm not talking about
Yes.
muscles here. I'm talking
Guns,
about-
but in a legal sense, replica imitation firearms. For
Aye.
Legality. In Minecraft. Thanks.
Got a preference in Minecraft. Have you seen the Minecraft trailer, by the way?
Oh my god, it looks absolutely horrendous. What is going
Was
on?
this a Minecraft movie?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I've not seen it. Oh.
I trolled my brothers, right, by sending them screenshots of just the animated bits. And he was like, oh, damn, this actually looks good. And he actually watched the trailer, and it's just Jack Black.
Oh.
It's obviously good, but not what he's expecting, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like why?
Aye.
Who thought that was a good idea?
I got him good though. And today, with obviously Aidan and Chris, we're going to specify in Aidan's new film, his
Exciting.
new film and potentially last film with Draft TV.
Tears.
And his first film in the Green Tea Productions
Yeah.
banner. Is that
Yeah.
what we call it? Production banner?
Well, yeah, it's Green Tea Studios, so I suppose like the first Green Tea Studios production.
Aye.
I suppose.
And Chris, we're going to talk about Hyena, because we were all
Yes,
involved in it, and
absolutely.
Gordon and Barry.
That's fantastic.
And it's obviously not released, so we can't go into too much detail about it, but when we get to it, we'll basically go over what we enjoyed about doing it.
Absolutely.
So, so Aidan,
Yeah.
last words. For anyone who's not seen it, first of all,
Oh, are you gonna shoot me?
well, yeah, potentially, if you don't give me good answers.
Okay.
It's under the table.
Just because you were asking for my last words, I was like, "Whoa, what's going on here?"
No. The other last words.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that film that I shot like 3 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah, the very one.
Yeah.
So would you want to just tell a brief description in case anyone's not seen it? And if you haven't, I would definitely recommend it. It's actually phenomenal considering what we put out. But would you want to give a wee description of it?
Yeah. So I came up with the idea for Last Words a while ago. I remember I saw. It's my first ever like political, like knee-jerk reaction kind of thing. I just saw something on the interwebs that I found quite upsetting, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna write a film about this. So I wrote the script quite quickly, and then I had been wanting to put Finlay in one of my films. Obviously, Finlay, a resident actor, and I never really managed to find a place for him in one of my films directly. So I got him in. I was like, "Are you interested?" And he was like, "Yeah." So then I put a casting call. We found James to play. I can't even remember what I called the characters. I think James's character is called Daryl. I can't even remember what Finlay's character John, I think.
That does sound familiar.
Yeah, I don't even think they say the name, so it's not important. But yeah, I wrote the script, and then we shot it maybe just a week or so after that. I just bought my fancy Blackmagic 4K pocket cinema camera, and we shot it on that. And it was a quick, short day of shooting. Someone from the uni came round and went, "You have got to get out of here real soon." And then we hung around for another like hour and a half, until he was like, "You've really got to get out of here now." And we're like, "Okay." But yeah, we shot that. Took me way too long to edit it. I edited like the credits ages and ages ago, and then kind of just put off actually editing it, and then I started getting properly into it, and then I did a whole new credits thing right at the last minute, scrapped the original credits. But yeah, I put a lot of effort into the editing this time, which I think hopefully people will notice watching the film, and also like color grading. That was a big thing as well because it's black and white, and yeah, I just kind of wanted to break the mold of my usual kind of somewhat similar vibes. We kind of fall into the trap of doing kind of similar-ish subject matters, so this one's a bit more out of left field, and hopefully people don't really see the kind of twist coming, and hopefully that kind of gives it rewatchability, where you start, like, if you don't get the hints the first time, you'll get the hints the next time you watch it. But yeah, I'm incredibly proud of it. It's not perfect, but I am definitely my favourite of my films, and I hope everyone enjoys it if you want to give it a watch.
Perfect. See, when you came to about writing, obviously you said you had a bit of inspiration from what you saw online.
Yeah.
Was it in it? Did you write it any differently from usual? What was your writing process going into a script like that?
I suppose it was a bit different from the usual. I mean, obviously, usually I have like a kind of core idea of the story that I want to tell, but this one was kind of like this. It was based on, it was something to do with the war in Gaza, and I kind of was like, how do I get this and turn it into like a fictional setting, because I wasn't going for historical accuracy, so I kind of twisted it towards some other real world events, but it's not factual in any way, but I like to think, it kind of had some rough bearing on real life, so I kind of, for this one, I suppose I got the setting first rather than the actual story, and then I didn't have the characters, and then I kind of was like, what's a good dynamic here? So I was like a younger guy and an older guy, and then I was kind of like, how do they feel about this situation, to kind of give them a bit of a difference, and then I suppose it's a bit darker than some of my other ones. Like obviously Sad Girl Hours is quite dark, but it's kind of consistently like, well, it's not, obviously it starts off a bit happier, but this one kind of, you won't get the darkness until you finish it and you go, oh, like, because I suppose it could be classified as like dark comedy in a way, because they do laugh and joke in it. It's kind of a bit lighthearted.
Yeah, they're quite lackadaisical with the situation
Yeah.
they're in.
Yeah.
I like that.
So I'm really trying to tiptoe around the actual premise, because I think obviously I talked about it with you guys, like what it was about, but I think obviously the intent for me is for you to go in and not know what it's about, and I don't want to spoil that, because I think that's kind of the interesting part of the film.
Yeah.
And I've kind of adopted that format for other things I've been writing recently, which is kind of the twist at the end kind of thing, because obviously it's short films, so you can't have twist in the middle really, unless it's a bit longer. So I've been enjoying that format. It's a bit different from what I've been doing before.
Were you inspired by former President Gordon Todd's Billy by any chance?
I definitely was a little bit. I think especially, like, obviously the political message in that one, and then just some of the vibe as well, can be somewhat, I'd say they're kind of comparable, and then obviously the kind of editing stuff, which I had a part in, when Gordon kind of asked me to do that, and like we talked about that, I was like, well, I really like that, and I was like, I want to do something kind of similar in that vein, but not like copying at the same time. So I think they're very different, but at the same time, I did definitely take some inspiration there, and I think, you know, speaking to everyone involved in the club, that we're probably all kind of taking elements from, you know, the bully kind of formula, because I think we realised that that is probably a lot stronger than some of the other things we'd done before.
Definitely watch Billy, honestly. Obviously it's about you and your film, but
Yeah.
you wanted to see if there was an inspiration, not a copy, obviously. It doesn't come off like that at
No.
all. But I was wondering if there was a clear inspiration.
Yeah,
'cause
definitely.
we all, like, I remember, did you say you wrote this after the 48-hour competition?
I did, yeah, actually, yeah. We'd obviously, the last podcast we done was just after the 48-hour, and yeah, I just had a little bit of a buzz, I think, after writing the script for that. So I wrote another script as well. I think I talked about this actually.
Yeah, I think in the last podcast you do mention this, but I just
Yeah.
want to see, like, this was the one that you were talking about. Was this
Yeah.
the script that you wrote after?
Well, I actually wrote another one as well.
Yeah.
Again with Finlay in mind, because I think I kind of got that into my head, and I wrote it, and I think it's a fine script. It's like a bit silly, but quite difficult to film, so I probably will never make it. But I just kind of got the buzz, and then I wrote this like the next day, and I only edited it very, very minorly. Like I kind of wrote it all in one go, and went back, and I always make spelling mistakes and formatting issues, but the core didn't really change at all. So yeah, it was quite a quick turnaround for one of the, like, having the idea to having the script finished, but it felt good. And now I'm in an absolute pit of creative hell right now, where I'm like trying to come up with ideas and I cannot for the life of me. So I think I just need to sit back and relax a bit.
Take some time.
Enjoy your levity, as would you say?
Don't know if that's the right word. I
I'm
can't
not,
think
I'm
right
not
now.
an English student anyway.
Yeah.
I'm a history student though, and from what I can
Nice.
tell, it is pretty not historically accurate, but the main theme and tone throughout your film, like the people who decided stuff that happens in your film. I just realised we're not going to spoil it
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, they had the same kind of vibe and attitude towards it in real life, I think, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I think, obviously, I suppose we'll just do like little mini spoiler warning here, I suppose.
Aye.
I won't full divulge, but like if you go and watch the film first and then come back here.
Aye.
if
I'll
you've
skip a
not.
wee bit forward.
Or yeah, skip. Maybe we'll put a time code in the description or something.
Oh,
That's
Maybe-
gonna
very
work.
professional there.
Yeah. But yeah, a big inspiration, because I saw it last year and I don't think I stopped thinking about it.
Aye, same.
Is Oppenheimer. That kind of, I didn't know that much about the situation before watching that film. I think that really inspired me, and obviously it's still very different. Like, you know, he's not in it or anything, but obviously it's like very loosely based on kind of maybe, you know, this kind of people that, because obviously there's like the big team of like scientists that he's working with.
Yeah.
That's kind of the idea that I got. So like costumes were kind of based roughly on that, because I was just like, well, easy to do and, you know, somewhat accurate. And obviously the accents as well, that was obviously kind of came from there as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just really liked like the vibe of that and how it wasn't too, like, obviously it's very dark, but not directly in the way, like, you don't see the, you know, the bomb hitting like
The end
Hiroshima or Nagasaki. It's just like a test.
And personal as well, a wee bit.
Yeah. And yeah, I really liked like the subjective, objective, black and white scene kind of thing in that. So yeah, I definitely took a lot of inspo from that. But again, I don't think it's I mean, it's not a complete copy. Obviously, it's a
No,
short
of
film in
course not,
comparison
no.
to
Right.
a 3-hour biopic, like, you know. But yeah, that was a big inspiration, and I think I would like to do more stuff like this, definitely.
I mean, it is my favourite Nolan film, so I mean, I don't blame you at all. So,
Yeah, it's really, really good.
it's at the spoiler section. Complete
Yeah,
section.
we'll put another time code here. Now you can listen again. We were just talking about fluffy kittens.
I mean, see, the other day, so many just ran through my street. some guy had to come out and just with a fire extinguisher and just kept trying to spray them away.
Well,
It was quite brutal, honestly.
that's a shame for those kittens. You should have given one to me. I want to get a kitten.
My little cousin had to watch it all as well. It was quite a shame.
That's quite
Anyway,
It's
from
come for life.
one animal to another. Look at that transition.
Oh.
Love
We all worked on a film called Hyena.
We did,
Indeed.
yeah.
It was Gordon's script, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
It was Gordon Todd's script, and he unfortunately couldn't make it because he's working right now. It's a big boy job now, I'm
It
afraid.
is.
Can't
He
just
does, yeah.
Very important man.
can't just come down at any podcast that he wants anymore. Not that
No.
we've been overly active with it recently.
Yeah.
But
Or Aiden's birthday parties, shade thrown.
oh,
I've still not forgiven him for that.
I thought he was. Was it?
Let's slight. Oh, this is gonna get into the hater
Oh,
section.
aye, sorry.
Well, slight thing. Basically, I had 2 birthday events.
Yeah.
Okay, it was my 21st birthday, and Gordon forgot about the first one,
Right.
and then the second one he was like, "Oh, I'll come," and then went for a nap, fell asleep, woke up the next day.
The next day.
Yeah,
For a nap.
which was my birthday, and then just went, haha, lol, soz, doesn't say happy birthday to me, and then I'm a little mad at him. The next time he messaged me, he's like, "You've not sent me my Premiere Pro money." And I was like, right, okay, sound. So Gordon's in the bad books slightly.
Oh. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a personal tangent.
It's,
there.
it's all good. It's
Trying to
all
keep
good.
up personal, professional.
We're trying to
lives,
keep it
etc.
very professional, yeah. But yeah, Gordon, you're in the bad books.
Wow. Anyway,
Shame.
people were a bit complimenting Gordon now, but he wrote and directed the film Hyena.
Yeah,
And
Hyena.
Chris, you obviously did you have an involvement in it
I
in
had
the early
a-
stages?
I think the early stages. The name. It was originally called Rat because of
Obvious-
the premise.
Obviously, it's not released yet, so we can't spoil it at all.
No, could I go into the naming convention at all? Why we named it that?
I suppose we could just really vaguely hint around. We obviously can mention that it was called Rat and then it was called Hyena, and people can just infer from there. I reckon we shouldn't go too into it.
Yeah.
Watch by the time this podcast releases, Hyena actually came out.
Is it
Yeah,
not due this weekend?
I mean, I think it was due about 2
Aye,
months ago.
Gordon's big boy job
Busy man.
has been delayed in how quickly could get Hyena out,
Yeah.
considering how long ago we filmed it, and also we had to get a music video out, which
Yeah.
you can see on his Instagram, which is very good. I watched it.
Yeah, cheeky wee plug. Yeah.
Exactly,
I've seen that video. It's a good music video.
exactly.
Separate the art from the artist.
Mm-hmm.
The art's good, but Gordon, you're a fucking cunt.
Oh.
That's both my swears used. There we go.
Wow. Aye. So obviously, Hyena, you helped Gordon
Yeah.
in the making of a wee bit. You like some idea. 'Cause obviously, you have a background and a very huge interest in police work and all that.
yes. Mainly firearms policing, but kind of police work in general. Massive inspiration from like Taggart and stuff like that. I grew
Mhm.
up with Taggart, so anything along the lines of that, I'm very into. And what the tangent are we going down? Are we going to talk about my why I'm here kind of thing?
I think we
And
touched on this
involvement.
before in the last episode of the
Yeah.
podcast, didn't
Well,
we?
you can't hear me too much because we were
Aye,
on
to be
microphone.
fair. Aye, so you can briefly go over that and then talk about kind of what you brought to the film, like your equipment
Absolutely.
specifically. 'Cause that's not spoiler
No,
specific.
no, that's just
But-
specifics, and a lot of people aren't going to know regardless until
Aye.
they see it. So,
Exactly.
so I was originally, I messaged Strath TV asking about support acting for providing police equipment and police support act kind of stuff like that. Me and God were involved in that, and basically, my reasoning for getting into this is because I see too many like major productions, so STV, ITV, BBC. I know the 2 companies that provide all the police equipment for UK TV, and a lot of the times the firearms equipment or just general policing equipment is wrong. And to someone who's got a massive interest in policing and the equipment that they use, it's very, very jarring to see like the elite level counter-terror police wearing helmets that are supposed to protect you from banging your head and not getting shot in the head. So just seeing stuff like that brings you right out of what otherwise would be a really tense moment, because I know most people aren't going to watch it like that and there's holes in their helmet. Someone like me's like that, but that's not ballistic. That's the wrong equipment. Realism and accuracy is my main thing. So in regards to Hyena, I brought along my Strathclyde Police Tactical Firearms Unit kit. and very 2000s based, kind of from 2000 up until about 2014 when the Police Scotland merger happened with the Eight Forces. So once you see Hyena, you will be pleasantly surprised at how accurate the kit is if you have a look at photos or anything like that, because I put a lot of effort in. And there was actually a funny story, probably not spoiler, but when I was waiting to come into the shot, there was a cleaner.
Oh yeah.
There was a cleaner,
God.
and I was sat, full gear, bulletproof helmet, vest, coveralls, body armour, rifle, all that, singing and dancing, and I spot a cleaner, and I'm like, oh god, no.
You sounded terrified.
I absolutely was terrified. I was kicking my brakes, so to speak. And I've peeked round the column and looked at Gordon in the car and just started like motioning to cut my neck like that. No, I'm not now, cut the camera.
Obviously, we're in the car and we're like, what is
he
taking him
doing?
so- exactly.
Aye, like, what is he doing?
Obviously, it's not spoilers to say the kind of set. It's in a car park.
Yes.
It's in an empty car park in Hamilton. But obviously, cleaners from the council at that point were still coming around and cleaning up.
Yep.
And we had no one around us all day.
No, it was brilliant. For
There-
how 4 or 5 hours we spent in the
Aye.
car park.
There was one or two people who parked their car over there and walked down the stairs near us.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have even been near a shot or anything to
No.
see us. But unfortunately, right as we are coming out with almost flashy gear, I
Yep.
suppose you could say,
Yeah.
a cleaner came round and we didn't want to run out and scare her in case you
Aye.
thought something was going down.
Yep. And then phones the actual police.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the last thing we need.
That would be an issue. So you had to just sit back and wait till she went.
Yeah,
and
and
it
the
was,
thing is, see, trying to get a glimpse of her to see where she was, I peeked out and I made direct eye contact with her. Like, and I'm wearing a balaclava and stuff, so it's just literally the slit of my eyes staring right at her. And I peeked back in and my heart's going and I'm like,
aye.
I ran round to the car, Gordon's rolled in the window. I was like, there's a fucking cleaner! We shot it and it worked really well. I've seen the firearm scenes and yeah, it is brilliant. I don't know if you can hear the tone in my voice, but it was really exciting for me to see that in like kind of first major production with the firearms gear.
Aye.
So I'm really happy with how that turned out.
Because before, did we use any of your stuff before?
No,
At all?
this
No.
was my first time in anything. I turned up to the anniversary thing, 10-year anniversary, and I turned up to a few of the podcasts. But this
Aye.
is my first actual involvement.
Yeah. Aye, and obviously, like you played a part in it. You and Aidan played a part in it.
Yeah,
And Gordon played a part in it. The director, the writer, and the actor. I mean,
I know.
we want to separate the art from the artist here, but it's not discredit him. I mean,
Yeah, let's not. This will probably age badly because by the time this is out, I'm sure like it'll be all water under the bridge and all that, you know. But right now, Gordon, on the 6th of September, 2024. I can't swear again. Can someone pass me a swear?
passed.
Thank you. Fuck you.
Anyway, yeah, and Gordon was in it, and Barry, great actor by the way.
Yeah.
Genuinely,
Yeah.
he was
Incredible guy.
phenomenal in the role. And Barry, I hope the film does come out soon. By the
Yes, I
way,
know.
it is.
I
Yeah,
feel bad
my
for him.
man he's waiting for it.
I know,
He's
he's
asked
pulling
quite a
the
few
edge of his
times. I
seat.
feel bad.
And to be fair, we did all not trying to credit Gordon here more than we should, but we did try and I think he did offer him a partial edit, but fair enough to him. He wants to wait for the full edit, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
totally what you probably want the finished version to add to your I think it's portfolio, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Aye, but honestly, phenomenal actor. I'd be pleased to work with him in any capacity in my films.
100%.
Yes,
Yeah.
aye.
He's also got a play on right now. Does
Yeah.
anyone know the Pacifics? I know Gordon's going.
Well, I think unfortunately by the time this
it's
airs,
tomorrow.
yeah, it'll probably be
7th.
over. Because yeah, tomorrow is the last one. I think it's been on the last couple of days, so it will have passed. But it looks good. I was interested in going. Unfortunately, I'm quite busy, so I couldn't make it. But Gordon's going tomorrow. It looks like good stuff.
I've had to work in case he's listening. I've had to work in jury duty
Oh,
this
jury
full week and have a barbecue tomorrow with a family barbecue. So I couldn't. And I apologise. Hopefully Gordon does indeed show up. Hopefully he goes to Barry's play and not your birthday.
Yeah, hopefully he turns
Barry's
up for
getting
that one.
preferential treatment.
I know, but back to what we were saying. Like Barry was phenomenal to work
You
with.
could
Yeah.
he embodied what the emotion would have been.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spoil it, but the way he was acting was you totally felt it. It was total naturalistic character
Aye.
acting, and I loved it. Like, it was great to walk away.
And Chris, it was the first time I saw you acting at all. Obviously, Aidan was had the second most roles in the whole Strath TV.
Yeah, I have so many. Unfortunately, I need to. For Green Tea Studios, I'm staying firmly behind the camera. That is the goal. No more acting for me.
He's only a bit by Finlay. Only a few roles as well, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
How much of a resident actor he is. And Gordon acted in it as well. He obviously acted in Green for a small role, but this was you can see his face in this one.
Yeah.
I think it was a big change. But Chris, you were, it was your first time with us and all that. You were acting in it.
Yeah, I loved
What
every minute of
was
it.
what were you like? 'Cause obviously, you had a part in the script, didn't you, in some way, or was it? Did you not?
I did have. Oh no, I had no part in the script.
Right, cool.
It was mainly the naming convention I had part in.
Aye, and the equipment. So obviously, you came in here. I didn't really know you had a background in acting at all.
Yeah. So I went obviously Nat 5, and then went into higher, and then I dropped out of school. I was hopefully going to go into advanced higher.
Right.
It wouldn't have done me for the job I wanted, but it was like I was very passionate about acting. But
Yeah.
kind of after leaving school, me and my mate were doing shots on kind of tag up based stuff, very
Mhm.
kind of mysterious police procedural stuff. And because it was only the two of us, it was literally him with the camera, me doing most of the acting, and it was literally walking around Glasgow, all moody shots, and then like maybe like chasing an unseen character and shooting them kind of
Aye.
thing. And it worked very well. So that's kind of why I reached out to Strath TV, because I was like, right, listen, I kind of want to do more, because
Mhm.
the amount of kit I've got, I can equip about 6 people.
Seriously.
So I was like, right, okay, I need to get involved with other people and kind of make this bigger. And
Yeah.
again, down to kind of the whole accuracy thing on TV. Like, if I can bring like historical accuracy and quality to an amateur production, and then we can get funding for stuff, maybe even make it bigger. That, is the end goal. Me and Gordon are going to apply for funding. The Creative Scotland Individual Open Fund is back open.
Right.
Yeah, so me and my mate were doing shots, and they were quite good. He's very arty-farty with his camera work, and again, see for chasing an unseen suspect, it works fantastically well,
Aye.
because you are kept in the dark for a lot of it.
Right.
And the style, again, tag up. So going from wanting like the shorter scale stuff or smaller scale stuff into bigger, I'm really aiming for that, and I'm hoping to get a lot of the Strath TV folk involved with future projects if they're
Perfect.
all up for that.
Aye, we'll get more into this later on, but I would love to use some of your equipment for some of my upcoming
Absolutely,
projects.
aye.
Now, first of all, we're gonna edit this out. Aidan, what's a SOT event? Top left on the monitor.
Oh, it's not important. It's just when you hit an hour, it's for like radio live broadcasting stuff.
Oh, right. I'm gonna say it was only 27 minutes, but the actual clock is an hour.
Yeah.
Right, aye, perfect. Sorry, if we keep this in, because it might show my progress through
Yeah.
the podcasting potentially.
I mean, I was like, I'll edit this out, and then I was like, nah, can't be
Aye,
bothered.
fuck. I'm not gonna try and finish one bit.
No.
Yeah, this is my first time running the host, as I've said. The
Doing
host here.
fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Got a wee
slaying.
notepad here. Obviously, we're not using video for this one, but I do have a wee notepad here with my notes and where I want this podcast to go. So hopefully it flows relatively well.
Yeah, could I jump in? Like, I'll move myself. Just imagine that I've wheeled round and moved into the host chair for a minute. Johnny, can I ask you a question?
Of course, I would love to. I
Um,
would love you too. I would love you too.
yeah, this is a big transition here.
Yeah.
So,
Why is your seat so warm?
no reason. So, obviously, I am moving on to. I was going to say greater things, but maybe not. I'm moving on to different things.
Yeah.
And I will not be as big a part of Strath TV. And I'm now the former president, not even the
president.
former. And obviously, you have taken on a bigger role, being the host of the podcast, starting with season 2. And what else are you going to be doing over the next year or so? What are your plans? What are you going to do with your new role as treasurer and basically like VP, I imagine?
VP.
Vice president.
Oh, right.
That's kind of the vibe that you're
Should
giving
have
right
known
now.
that actually. Sorry. I am hoping to. Honestly, I really loved Gordon's model last year. Aim. Obviously, some months you won't, but aim to get a short film out a month.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that I might just follow. I'm thinking with Cameron, me and Cameron, we might just follow that model because it worked this year,
yeah.
and who knows, maybe it may not work for us next year. But we just need to try and see. Because obviously, so far, I want to see that.
That's it. Give it a bash.
Potentially, we're gonna go for a feature this year, but never ended up materialising.
Yeah, that was
But
unfortunate.
We'll get to in a wee bit because the last podcast ended off with us going like, it's gonna be a feature. Look out for it, and then it's not
Never
came out.
materialised.
But we'll get back to it later. There's not a big reason to it, but there's a bit of a moral to this story. I think that we can go to. But I have two short films written already
Wow,
to
nice.
bash off. One I'm going to start off with. I've talked to Chris about it. He's able to use maybe one or two of his gear.
Yep,
maybe.
absolutely.
It's not a massive spoiler to potentially what it could be. It's be set up quite quickly in the film short. And there was another short film I wrote, and I don't love it anymore. Like,
Yeah,
not that I ever did. I say love, that's a bit of a strong word, but not a huge fan of it anymore. And I might rewrite it, retool it, because I do like the general strong plot of the story. It's about optimism versus pessimism, but I think there's a more interesting way to go about it.
yeah,
There's some things about it in it that I like how we use glasses as a metaphor
yeah.
throughout it. But I want to kind of,
I don't think I've heard about this one.
I wrote it.
To me.
you know how Aidan wrote his after the 40-hour. We were all like, we wrote a script in a night, guys.
Yeah.
We all were so inspired to go on and write stuff.
Nice.
Gordon wrote Hyena, and Aidan wrote bloody
brilliant.
Last words.
Last Words, the thing I was talking about earlier. And I wrote this film called Specs. I genuinely think I will use it eventually, but I'm going to have to do a massive rewrite or not 2 rewrites or whatever it is to get what I want. But basically it was a story about 2 people basically arguing about optimism and pessimism. We're going to go about with that. I'm okay with talking about this because I might not actually do it, but it's a script I have in the vault. You know?
Yeah, always good to have.
Yeah.
Aye.
Have one tucked up your sleeve just in case.
And that's why I've not actually made another film this year. I only made Losing Track.
Yep.
And then I just decided, because we were making so many other films with the 10th anniversary, well, that's not a film, but the 48-hour, and we had Hyena, and then we had Last Words. I thought, and meant to have a feature, I thought we don't need another film, if that makes sense. So I thought I was as well writing stuff for next year when I would take over, when not me and Cameron would take over.
Yeah.
So then we have a strong base to start us off with, because that's what Steps We Take was.
Yeah.
That was something Gordon had in the vault that we could spring off with. And then also, moving away from the films and my own personal projects that I want to bring to the table, kind of about hopefully bringing in new members next year. I'm hoping to have a big push in Freshers Week, try and find potentially new people to come in. Because that's what Draft TV's, I think, great for, giving people a chance to express themselves, giving them like an avenue to express themselves with, like short films or whatever. We have the equipment, if they have a good enough vision, we can allow them to do it. And one thing I just love about going through our YouTube page is how there's just so many different styles and whatnot, because it's just like so many different people giving their viewpoints and perspectives on like their experiences through their films.
100%, yeah.
Like you can totally tell the difference
It's
between
diverse. It's very diverse.
incredibly.
I did originally, I think I followed Strat TV on Instagram, then looked at YouTube. And
Yeah.
I was watching everything. I'm like, there's actually a lot of good stuff in this, and I'm like, right, I need to get involved with these people, because it's like everything does seem totally different. You're like, you know for a fact different people are involved even before you see the credits. I was like, okay, this is important.
Yeah, like Gordon and Aidan films, even though now we're gonna go into later, you are gonna collaborate more.
Yeah.
And that is in your Green Tea studio.
Studios, yeah.
I did production earlier. I want to get it right now. And then obviously me and Cameron and Jamie had a film each.
Yeah.
And as I've said, why I didn't make any more, but hopefully you could, going through the catalogue of the films, you could see, you probably guess before you get to it, that one's an Aidan, that one's a Gordon, that was probably Johnny's, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think they kind of give a vibe, you know, and you definitely kind of, hopefully you see the progress as well, especially obviously like, I mean, it's probably only applicable to me and Gordon, obviously, because we're the ones that release multiple films. But yeah, the progress between each film that we've done across the year is really, yeah, I'd say, like, personally, I learned a lot as I went on, and as much as I still like my first film, I obviously grew over the course of the thing. So hopefully, yeah, going forwards, we can make more great things. And yeah, even the other day, I don't know why, I just sat there and I watched Do You Love Me again, and I was like, no, I like this. I'm still in shock at how good Finlay and Laura's performance and that is. I really, really enjoy it. So yeah, I hope people will give everything that we've put out a chance. And it would definitely be great for getting new people in.
Oh, aye,
so we
absolutely.
have a back catalogue now to show people, to be like, hey, this is what we made. Whereas before we kind of struggled with that. But now we can. There's really a template to show that we are efficient and we have made all of these things. And
Yeah.
there's at least there's something to show for effort,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Yeah, and assuming this might be out hopefully quickly, if you're somehow, some way, a student that's going to come to Strathclyde, or you're already a student at Strathclyde and you're thinking about joining the club, absolutely come and join next year.
Yeah.
I've not got an official meeting date yet for the weekly meet, or hopefully weekly meetings. I'm hoping to get the Wednesday slot like we did last year, but I've
Yeah.
not finalised that.
When is the Freshers Fair stall? Do you know what day that is?
The 16th on a Monday. That's a good.
Monday the
thing to do.
16th.
Aye.
Nice.
They've not actually really got back to me on the confirmation. That's just what I put in, and they've not said anything to me, so I'm
Right.
assuming it's good to go.
Yeah, usually it's just like over. You get it one of the 2 days and it should be fine. I don't imagine it being not fine, but obviously we'll share more details as the time comes
Of
closer.
course. On the Instagram,
On the
which
Instagram.
I might have to take over that as well.
Yeah, to be fair, I can do that one quite remotely, so
Oh,
I don't
absolutely.
mind helping out for a while until you get your bearings.
Right.
Got a lot going on.
I appreciate that. Obviously, this just shows you how much Gordon and Aidan had an impact on the club. Like, they've done the podcast, the Instagram. I'm assuming one of you's run the Discord.
Well, yeah, I did the Discord. We don't really use it anymore.
We
but
did
yeah.
it. We kind of stopped using it this year. We
Yeah.
used it at the start of this year when I first joined, and then we just used the WhatsApp group chat from
Yeah.
then on because it was just more efficient.
Yeah.
I used to have. I mean, this is kind of maybe the theme of this episode. You know, saying goodbye to the new guard and saying ushering in the next. We used to have genuinely been like last year. We would have had 2 films if it wasn't for you two. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we definitely really. I mean, obviously, big credit to Gordon after all my
Aye.
bashing of him earlier. Like, I wouldn't have done all of this if he hadn't been so ruthlessly efficient. And yeah, I mean, initially I was going to come back and hardly do anything this year, and I ended up releasing, 3.5 films technically, because one
3.5?
of them was me and Gordon did Strangers together.
Aye, of
so
course.
I'll count it as half.
And you did write N1.
I did also write N1, yes, whenever that comes out. Yes, I also wrote that. So yeah, I think it's been a great few years. It's had its up and downs, but I think this has been the best year. I think I've learnt a lot, and Strath TV's really been my springboard. I'm going to do a film degree at Stirling now, all thanks to this club. So if I can give anyone some advice, is definitely join. It helped me figure out my passion, made me, help me meet a lot of very great people, and I've had a great time.
Perfect. I love hearing that, Aidan. Do you want to switch back into our normal seats now?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
When you go.
Jeez, man, why's yours wet, Johnny?
Oh, Johnny.
Oh.
I'll close the door, open up.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, it was wet because it was warm when I first got it, and then I had to
Did you get a wee bit excited?
No, it was warm, and then I had to splash some cold water on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Cool it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cause it was oddly warm.
Yeah.
See, there's quite a lot, right? This is a wee tangent here, but in school, I went to science, right? Second period on a Tuesday morning, right? I came in, my seat was roasting every single week, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask the teacher so bad who sits here the period before me, because they must be either like big or warm or something, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
fuck, every week I walk in and the seat is boiling and it's only been one period before it.
Well, to be fair, I kind of get that, right? I am like an exothermic reaction.
Right?
Because I just release heat. I'm always quite cold, like as a
Right.
person I run cold. But I don't really notice until someone else is in my proximity. And they're like, you're really warm, and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't feel warm. But, they're like, you're really warm. And and I don't know what the point of this is, but yeah,
It's just a funny thing to say.
I am an exothermic reaction as a person.
Yeah. Anyway, do you want to, since saying on what I promised to talk about earlier, do you want to talk about the feature that never really came?
Yeah, I'm really sad about that because
Yeah,
oh my
same.
god, it's like 13,000 words in my life.
Really?
Yeah. So obviously we talked about it already briefly before the feature film. I was writing the script, and we called it Such Is Life. I made a logo and everything. We were totally ramping up. We had people basically cast as well. I never actually finished the script, but I had a really good outline, and I still have an outline for the end. I had to go back, obviously would have had to rewrite it, but it's like 100 pages, something ridiculous. Like it's like,
Jesus Christ.
and yeah, a lot of words, longest thing I've ever written, and I think it's good. It's not perfect. It would need a lot of work because it's obviously that long, but I really enjoyed writing it, and I really enjoyed, doing something in a longer format. And it's a shame it hasn't panned out, but I think obviously it kind of worked out that we all ended up being quite busy, and it probably would have been a bit rushed.
Absolutely.
And basically we were hoping to get some funding for it that didn't materialize. So the initial discussion when we all found this out was kind of like, do we go ahead or do we not? And it was kind of like, we don't want to make this on a shoestring budget, and it just ended up being, not what we envisioned. It's not something that needs a massive amount of money to make, but if we were, investing our own money and time in this, it would be quite difficult to really fully, do what we envisioned. So that one's very much in the back catalogue kind of thing. I don't know if it'll ever get made. I was thinking, I've always said I wanted to write a book, and I did talk about restructuring it to be a book. So I might still do that. It's just so that I can say that I wrote a novel, and then at least it's used for something, and we don't have to worry about budget for that.
I know. And I don't know, we'll do it.
Yeah, and maybe they'll get picked up by a publisher, and then it'll make loads of money, and then we'll turn it into a feature film.
Hopefully.
Starring Ryan Gosling. But one can dream.
Exactly, that's what ye dreams. You know what I mean? Dreams give us motivation. You know. It's
exactly.
Superman said something in an animated film I watched recently. It was like dreams make us stronger or something like that. It was a good film, Superman versus the Elite.
Nope. I've never heard of that, but
it's a wee an hour 10-minute long animated film. It's based off a single issue of a comics.
Nice.
And they just put out. It was good. It shows why Superman's important in this day and age. Anyway, enough gushing about one of my favourite characters. Obviously, that was the initial idea of the feature film.
Yeah.
And then we changed it a little bit on because after we didn't get our budget, we were like, what could we do? We all want to do something. We all want to create something together collaboratively. So our idea was to make an Office-style spoof of our past year.
Yeah.
The making of that year of Draft TV.
Yeah.
And honestly, we all collaborated on the script. We all made our own segments. Basically, the films that we did, we did the spoof about, right? So I did Blues and Track, you did.
I did. I mean, I think I took more creative liberties than most people, so I didn't really do much Sad Girl Hours because I was like, not much happened. There was a little bit of tea, some strangers, but yeah, my one was a lot more like kind of a hodgepodge of things, and I definitely wasn't very loosely based on reality. But I think obviously that made it a bit more fun, and that's one that we might still make. Obviously we wrote it to be made with literally no budget because we got no funding, so all we would need is time really, and it wouldn't be, obviously we're calling it a feature. I don't know how long it would have been in the end. It would have been like more than a short film, but maybe shorter than a feature.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think feature, it needs to be at least like 45, 50 minutes from that. So like I was envisioning like half an hour or something like that. But it wouldn't have been strict on how long it was. But yeah, it was just kind of got difficult. We all got busy. The union was shut. Holidays, like we've all got stuff going on, and we needed, basically every single one of us and
Available
actors
for at least 2 weeks.
Yeah. So it was a big undertaking.
Yeah, and I mean, I went away on holiday. I was one of the people who had the holiday problem. I was obviously at a bit of work, but went on holiday and I came back and there was no word, and that's when I knew kind of this might be done. And then no one said anything. Cause I didn't want to come back and immediately be like, what we doing? What are you guys? What's going on?
Jumping in people's throats to get it done.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, see if it's dead. It was fun to write. It was fun to read, especially your bits. And you had some of the whack, as he said, he separated the fiction and non-fiction parts of it.
Yeah.
Like he took creative liberties, let's say, in some bits.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah.
He wanted to go further as well. Can I just say in some people's characterisation. You know
yes, what I mean? Yes. Yeah, I went a little crazy, but I mean, the good thing is like with this, we didn't start it, so we have the script there. It's basically done. I just need to unsever some bridges with some members of Strath TV, and then maybe we'll shoot it at some point. But we'll see.
Don't hold out hope for it.
That's up to you. But yeah, obviously we're all kind of moving separate ways as well, so it might be more difficult.
Incredibly.
But not everything works out. You've got to have some failed projects,
Exactly.
and this is maybe one of them.
And see, I hope to God we all make it into the industry somehow. We all become successful, obviously. But and then that's just how the industry can be. Sometimes, like you have this project, it can be a passion project. You go forward with it. You have these ideas. You get actors, you get directors, you get a script, it's all that, and then potentially a studio or whatever circumstances come ahead, and they're just like, no, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
Like there's I think COVID definitely just took down some movies.
Yeah.
There was the Batgirl movie, which
that was an interesting one. So the company I worked for supplied all of the stuff for putting
really?
together all their sets.
Really?
They bought 10,000 nails, and I think we had to get like 4 or 5 shipments in for all these nails.
Jeez.
And like they were shooting it across the road from us at the print works, and you would literally see like this just a big massive box van pull up, and you're like, yeah. And the thing is, it's like these production companies change names all the time. So like Outlander, they were called LPB Outlander, and now they're called something else. The folk that were doing Batgirl were called American Night Productions, and now they've changed their names again. So it's like whenever their stuff comes in, they've always got different names, and you're like, oh no, another one. And then you look back at the customer records, and you're like, oh Christ, right, that's American Night Productions. I wonder what they're doing now. And you actually get to meet the folk that put together the sets and stuff.
Oh really?
We work with a company called Pretty Scenic, and they do set building. I remember the main guy was telling us how they built a huge mock house in like 3 days just to burn it down.
God.
I mean, I just what movies are like sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, isn't it make something?
Aye.
I know.
It's kind of like the house in Skyfall. It's like that's a big beautiful house, and then up in flames.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe we'll do that for the next one,
yeah,
but it'll be the Union
Yes.
because of the dragons.
Yeah, I was just gonna say invite the dragons again.
Yeah.
Just be like, yeah, we used we worked that into the feature script as well. Like I wrote it, so like the dragons, like obviously we didn't use the dragons, but we used the fire alarm to like get us out the building from something. Because the idea was like Finlay would be a serial killer, killing us throughout it, and I thought the fire alarm going off was how we got away from him killing us earlier on, which was quite fun. Yeah, we're also going to do a fight scene for that, by the way. But that was like the one bit I'm like, can we still do that? Like the feature can wait. Can we just do the fight scene and then build around it?
We can still do the fight scene if you want, because I made that logo for. Do you remember I showed you? Don't bring a gun to a knife fight.
Yes.
And that there was no script, and I don't think there was going to be a script. I think it was just gonna be a fight, and then we kind of thingy that in. But it's got a name, it's got a logo. We have
Something
a premise.
could be
We could be having a fight scene.
Well, like what you heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
Was that not supposed to be involved in the feature thing, like coming and busting into a room?
Yeah.
I got it. Someone said.
Yeah. You're basically going to try and find Finlay.
Oh, nice.
And then you are going to go into the toilets and have a fight scene.
Oh, brilliant. Oh no, that's quite.
Yeah.
That's very. Oh, is it Casino Royale?
Yeah.
This.
It was a Bond movie.
The Bond movie. It's black and white. He's battling the guy. Yes.
And also Mission Impossible.
With Henry Cavill and his arm reload.
A movie I could never get into. Mission Impossible.
I'm telling you,
It's too far fetched.
That's my my movie blind spot, those films. Those and
Yeah.
Fast and Furious. I've seen like 1 or 2 of them. I've seen the first Mission Impossible, and I've seen like bits and pieces of probably every single Fast and Furious. Of it's me just growing up, just watching
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
I've seen scenes from at least probably all of them, but I've just
Yeah.
never sat down. They're my blind spots, which I want to get round to them. If you follow me on Letterboxd, you see I do try and work my way through a lot of the films I've not seen growing up, because
Yeah.
I watched movies on TV, but I never like sat down and watched a lot of films. That wasn't just something I did, and now obviously I'm a part of a film and TV
Yeah.
club, and I kind of need to
Get your feet in there.
get my not a filmography. That's if you make it, but like my
Watchography, I don't know.
my watchography. You know what I mean, like I wanna, because like Gordon was saying the other day when we were writing the feature, me, him, and Cameron, he was like, yeah, it's like this scene. Have we seen this? And me and Cameron were both like, nah.
No. Yeah.
See,
Yeah. It's mental.
I've got that problem where I'm not like a film aficionado. There's certain films that I absolutely love to death, and I'll go
Mhm.
back to them. Whereas like I've had people tell me, "Oh, Chris, you need to watch John Wick," and I'm like, I love Keanu Reeves, but it's like, yeah, everything in John Wick is fairly viable firearms wise, but it's
Aye.
just like it's the over the top, and I'm kind of like, I've seen how hard Keanu Reeves trains, and it's like a testament to marksmanship and all that crap,
Mhm.
but it's just a wee bit too far fetched.
Aye. You've seen it with someone who really likes realism in this film.
Yeah, I'm quite. I don't know if I can use the word, but I'm quite anal
Right. Okay.
about how stuff works. Like, I'm currently writing a script for a short called Courier,
Mhm.
and it ties in with all my, well, not all my previous ones, because I've yet to do any of the ones I'm supposed to do with like Gordon, yourself, and other folk. We're still kind of getting the planning done. Scripts are done. It's just we need to actually get down to it and get locations sorted. But I'm planning at least maybe 4 or 5 shots, and they're all going to be connected, because I've always
really?
had this thing that for things being connected. Me and my mate, when we were writing our shots, we'd like write 2, and then we'd film them, and then we'll be like, right, okay, we'll plan number 3, and then
Mhm.
like, right, how do we tie in 1 to 3? How do we do this? And it used to be this like absolute mind-boggling thing. We'd be like, right, okay, how do we tie St. Peter into Manhunt and all this crap? And it's like, right, we need to all this kind of thing. So
Yeah.
the current ones I've got are very well tied in, because it's basically a career progression of a
Oh,
police
right.
officer, and then it goes into his career downfall through a failed shooting.
Mm.
Then it gets demoted into the drug unit, and the drug unit's very, very corrupt.
Right.
So, kind of going back to the John Wick stuff, I've took slight inspiration from it, because it is entirely plausible. Like a lot of the disarm techniques,
Yeah.
totally viable. Like, so I've wrote that into it, where another officer gets shot, and my character gets cornered by 2 corrupt officers, who were planning on killing me and the other officer, because they were getting too close to figuring out what the hell they were doing.
Right.
I get a gun pointed at me, go for a disarm, shoot whoever had the gun. The other rogue officer makes a runner, and there's a chase scene. But I'm still to write Courier. Courier's
Right.
still in the box.
Aye, because obviously you've came to us about a script as well, and you've asked us about the potentially
Oh.
being involved in it. Aye.
Yeah, ARV and Flatline.
Right. Is that is going to be a Green Tea Studio film, or is that going
I
to
think
be
it will
a
be
draft
a
TV?
bit of both.
Bit of
There's
both,
Gordon's thing with it.
Yeah, I'm not
Gordon's
entirely
maybe
sure
open.
what we're going to do for all of that, but we do have a bit of crossover. It's like,
Yeah.
obviously Last Words was both Green Tea and Strath TV.
Yeah. That's
So
cool.
we're not opposed to doing that. It just kind of depends on
Who's involved?
who's involved, and like most especially like equipment. Like I'm trying to get all my own equipment, and Gordon has quite a lot.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Obviously, like we use some Strath TV equipment, so that's kind of why I credited Strath TV, and we
Yeah,
use like a
of course.
uni building.
Yeah.
That's like the big thing. So obviously, credit where credit is due, but there will definitely be a bit of crossover on that.
Yeah.
I mean, inherently, like if I'm having a part in it, I'll try and get not try and get Strath TV labelled all over something, but yeah, I mean, like
Yeah.
if I'm involved, I think I'm there for Strath TV.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
100%.
And if you make a film or whatever,
Yeah.
unless I'm like just there to help out, you know what I mean? Like if I write a script or I direct it or
Yeah.
I play a role in it or help you with equipment or whatever, that you know what I mean. I'm not, in case anyone's listening to this, but this guy's quite being quite rude here. He's saying he wants a what's it called?
Piece of the pie.
A piece of the pie and a bit of credit for
You're
just
getting,
showing up.
you'll get a producer credit
Aye.
every time. Well, Strath TV will.
Not
Yeah.
just for showing up, by the way. I mean, if
No.
it's something more than that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Aye.
That was my worry with coming to Strath TV and like getting me and my mates thing credited, because our one's called Shart House Productions. It's a obviously total piss take on the art house cinema genre, so we called it Shart House
Yeah, I like that.
for a good laugh. And everything's quite tongue in cheek with us. Again, Taggart's a love of mine. We put together a Taggart intro using like the theme music and that like ridiculously blue like filter that they use for every
Yeah.
intro from like 2000s up until the most recent or the last ones, and we called it Shaggart. It's brilliant. It's brilliant, but it's like we were quite worried about coming onto Strath TV, and then it's like if you guys are like sticking something we've worked on,
Yeah.
and people are kind of like, Shart House, so with this video you have all the arty farty wanks going, oh that's very vulgar, you can't have that. So
And then you met us and you're like, nah, that's not really a problem. That's not.
none of that. So
Yeah, I know we're chill like that
Yeah.
for the most part.
And I've got that's
again, it's like I'm like, oh right, okay, uni students. Oh right, how wanky is this going to be? Everybody's totally brand new. So
Yeah.
Not
no
Glasgow
problems.
Uni, thankfully.
Yeah.
Don't get me started. This is a total off tangent, but they done a project called Bloods of Glasgow. Fantastically shot, right? I'll have to give them credit. They were very good in doing it, but it was set in the 1990s, and there's 23 plate cars. They're using Russian submachine guns that were made in 2010. The PP-19 Vityaz SN. They're just using totally out of whack guns for the time period. The fight scene was choreographed okay with the gunfight, but it was totally. I'm like, right, you're not gonna have 12 people sat in a circle with guns pointed at each other and like it was just ridiculously over the top. But I mean, for daft action, yes, but for someone like me, the projects I'm writing, so like there is so much police procedure in terms of like how the shooting works and stuff like that, and like escalations or use of force.
Mm-hmm.
The one I want you to be in, ARV, well, it's not really spoilers. I don't really care about spoilers, to be
I
honest.
mean, it's
with
your film, so
Yeah,
you can
aye,
do whatever
yeah.
you want.
So, premise is there's a domestic gone wrong. This
Mhm.
guy's absolutely mutilated his wife. He's a war vet, he's got PTSD, something triggers him, flies into a fit of rage,
Yeah.
totally butchers his wife, she's mutilated. So myself and Johnny will be two firearms officers. We enter the property, we can't find him. Start calling out from him, he appears with a knife, he's absolutely covered in blood. Again, escalation and use of force. I try and talk him into dropping the knife, and then realise, right, okay, he's not listening to any kind of orders, so I decide, right, pepper spray for those that are uninitiated. And then I felt, again, this is where my sense of realism comes in. So a lot of reports tell you that, see, captor or pava spray or pepper spray, if you want to call it that, most of the time it affects the officers and not the suspect.
Oh, really?
I think it's like a 60% rate. It's both suspect and officer. So the officers themselves
Like
are
just
getting
a gas
affected.
you're just spraying about?
It's a liquid. It's
Right.
a really strong liquid stream. I think it goes for about 6 feet, maybe for 6 seconds.
Right, okay.
So they're taught to press it and control bursts, kind of thing. So again, procedural. So I'm like, right, okay, we're in a flat. This is very close quarters. If this sprays back, the Perrys are getting it. We're firearms officers. We can't risk our firearms being taken from us. So I then go, right, okay, taser. Like it's another escalation of use of force.
Mm-hmm.
Pull the taser out. I'm holding the taser towards him. And then I'd like for your character to kind of, you're a trainee firearms officer, so this is your first incident. You're right out ejecting the firearms training centre, and you're immediately like you're the one that finds his wife dead.
Right.
So you're shook. You're like, Christ, right? This is what this guy's capable of. So you're like totally nervous. You're like, fuck, right? This guy's got a knife, and he starts to come towards me, but I'm still kind of trying to talk him down because I'm like, right, the guy's going through a mental health crisis. I don't want to use any kind of use of force unless it's deemed entirely necessary.
Aye.
He starts to get closer to me. He starts rambling. You pull out your pistol and start shouting commands at him, whereas I'm still trying to talk to him. So there's this juxtaposition between like this total life or death scenario, and I'm using experience to go, right, he's probably not going to touch me, and I'm also wearing body armour,
Aye.
and we're carrying firearms. We're miles more lethal than he is.
Mm.
So yeah, you've got the gun pointed at him, you're totally panicking. He takes one more or two more steps towards me, and you shoot him, and it's like the pistol's right next to my ear.
Right.
I drop down. Christ! Like tinnitus. I'm deaf in the one ear now. Oh, temporarily deaf. So tinnitus ringing kind of thing, and then it goes to again procedural. It's not just bang, deed. That's him. Finito. It's a case of I'm gonna make, because you've done this. This is you need to deal with the actions
Right.
or the consequences of your actions. So I force you to go and get the medical kit out of the car. I start dealing with them. Come out. Right. He's dead. You're going to explain this. So
Wow.
it's totally procedure based.
Right. Well, I'm looking forward to it when we get a chance to
Yeah,
film this.
so-
And
Sounds intense.
if anyone's listening
Yeah.
to the audio of this, they have something to look forward to.
It
It's
is,
like a wee-
ARV's been in the work. Is again, me and my mate were like, right, because it's only 2 years, we were like, right, this is going to be a lot of camera trickery and shit. This is going to be
Mhm.
complicated. So that's another reason why I reached out, because a lot of my projects are quite large scale. Me and Gordon
Yeah.
are working on one called Heartland, and that's going to be massive in scale.
Right.
And that'll further continue it, like that'll go into the Shard House Universa
Yeah.
kind of load and stuff. Me and Gordon have got a few ideas for stuff, so
That's perfect. I mean, that's that's kind of how I wanted to not finish off there, but I kind of like lean into what we're doing now. You've got your stuff going on with us,
Yeah.
and then Gordon and Aidan, you've said
there's so much work going on.
like, do you anything else you got going on in the future?
I'm kind of. I don't exactly know what I'm doing with it.
Oh, I saw you said earlier you've kind of had
completely.
to not step back, but kind of give yourself a breather before going on and writing something else.
Yeah,
don't you?
so I need a little break. Got a lot going on in
Yeah.
the old life at the moment. But I'm planning on. I've come up with a little label that I'm calling 4 AM Films,
Right.
and I'm going to fully kind of go down the own business freelance kind of thing. So it's going to be a big mix of probably not so much films. Funnily enough, it has films in the name, but I'll probably, anything that I put out will still go under that. But I think that's more a lot of, I'm going to just try and do like work for people as, kind of a videographer.
Yeah, of course.
Kind of all of that stuff. So when I go back to uni, that's the plan, is to get some business advice and properly set that up. And then get into doing that at some point.
Are you hoping to join a film club while that's still on? Is there one? Do you
There
know?
is one, yeah,
Right.
the Air
You'd
TV.
hope so.
I think I'll join. I don't know how involved I'll be, but I'll definitely join. Obviously, my course is film anyway.
Yeah.
You don't get to do much filmmaking at the start, but I'm hoping to just recruit some people by being like, hey guys, I have like approximately £2,000 of camera equipment right here. Do you want to go and shoot a film?
Yeah.
And hopefully I'll just be able to recruit some first year buddies to.
You're gonna steal the Air TV crew.
I'm going to
Aidan.
steal the Air TV. Well, I was thinking just on my course.
Yeah.
But also, I'll speak to the Air TV people and be like, anyone got some experience? You want to come along? Da da da.
Yeah, because obviously that's gonna be a bit something, we're just rocking up, being like, by the way, guys, I've made short films. Like,
Yeah.
I think you're gonna be nothing but what's the opposite of a curse?
A blessing.
Yeah,
Blessing.
blessing.
It's all a
Sorry,
blessing to them.
sorry. If the audio listeners are probably hearing this, be like, I've just stopped at like 3 words in this full thing, but you'll be nothing but a blessing to them, I imagine, with you coming up with the equipment and experience.
Yeah.
Is there anything like us, like if someone rocks up next year and be like, yeah, I've made short films in the past,
Yeah, that's
and all
true.
that, like, in case you're worried about rocking up and maybe trying to steal some thunder, like, I doubt that's going to be, unless they are a bit artsy-fartsy, like you were worried that we were going to be, Chris.
No, I think they seem quite chill, and they seem like they do some cool stuff. So I'll
Okay.
definitely get involved.
And
Yeah.
folk tend to latch on the experience. I mean,
Yeah.
with the stuff that you've done, people are definitely going to be like, right, this guy's actually really good.
Yeah,
let's
he knows
get
what he's
involved in.
doing.
Exactly.
And obviously you got your freelance stuff, and I wish you the best of luck with that.
Thank you.
And obviously Strath TV is not going anywhere. We're gonna try and keep this momentum that Gordon Todd left us. Gordon and Aidan, obviously. Again, like, I can't under-preference them quite.
Yeah.
You don't understand how much I'm gonna have to pull my slack now that Aidan's gone. Me, Cameron, and not really Jamie now. She's gonna be an affiliate of the club now,
Yeah.
I think. I
Yeah,
don't
we've
know.
kind of lost a few. Well, not lost. I suppose it's a moving on kind of thing. It's a
Yeah.
natural
We better
event.
step back.
Yeah, but we'll all still be kicking about. We'll probably just before this, Johnny was saying, anytime they're shooting, you'll shoot me a text and stuff like that. So I'll still be kicking about, helping out, doing some graphic design, running the Instagram probably for a bit. And I'm sure Gordon will be doing the same as well.
He lives in Glasgow still, so hopefully and he obviously is Gordon. I imagine he'll be more than welcome to help if he's free.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, it's the end of an era, I suppose.
Yeah.
But moving on to new, hopefully greater things for all of us. Anyone leaving Strath TV, sort of, and also just Strath TV in general. Hopefully, there's some newbies coming in who've got some bright ideas and can have a little bit of a shake up. And I'll be keeping an eye out for everything that's coming out in the future.
And same to you, Aidan. With anything that you make, I'll make sure to follow you. I don't know if you're going to make a green tea
that's
YouTube channel or something, but
yeah.
I'll make sure to subscribe to that. Make sure to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, that's on the to-do list. But yeah, that will definitely be coming at some point.
Perfect. So anyway, thank you all for that. I mean, sorry. Yeah, does anyone else want to get anything else in before we finish up?
I'm just glad to be working with Strath TV and everybody, because I mean, you're all fantastic folk. Like, I was expecting total arty-farty wankers. Like, I've totally went over my swell limit, I apologise. But yeah, everybody's fantastic.
Perfect.
For meeting folk on the 10th anniversary, I was like, right, okay, this is actually a really, really good bunch of folk. So I'm very appreciative that you've all took me on and are willing to work with me.
Yeah,
so thank you.
100%. Yeah, it's been a great year. It's been a great few years for me, and I suppose it was fun hosting the podcast. It was fun doing all of my various jobs over the years, and God, I'm getting a little emotional, guys. We're gonna cry on the podcast.
Feel it off you, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to turn this into a goodbye one, but you know what I mean, like.
Yeah, no, it feels like a goodbye.
Transitionary period.
Yeah.
Like a formal kind of. Not the goodbye, but like you're saying a wee letter of resignation.
Yeah, that's it. I'm handing in my 2-week notice.
Yeah.
But I might occasionally pop in for the free coffee.
And I hope you do. Right, so. Thank you everyone for listening. I hope you enjoyed season 1 of the pilot podcast and this year of Strath TV. I'm going to be sticking around. Chris and Aidan, as they've said a couple of times now, are going to try and keep in association with us.
Absolutely.
And me with them as well. And I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, I don't really know what to say. I'm going to have to hope that Aidan shows me how to save this audio file. This is my first time doing the podcast. So.
Yeah, don't worry. I was just trying to leave it on the note of like the last thing I said because I thought it was quite cool. But yeah, I'll come around and I'll help you stop this right now. I'm just going to take my headphones off. Goodbye, everyone.
Right, perfect. See you
Cheers,
later.
my
Bye.
eyes.
Bye. There we go, guys.
Fantastic.
Crying, man. Crying.
Sorry, did you say stop?
Yeah, just stop. Imagine it wasn't recorded.
Jesus God, don't say that. I did worry about that.